put me on exactly. It took them 4 days to answer because they were embarrassed about the amount, right? And I refused to take this, right? You understand that if I had taken the medication, I would not be here, and it would have been, he was deeply troubled. We miss him. We love his music, though.
Well, they would have Britney Spears you. I mean, look at
they would have Michael Jackson
or worse, yeah.
So look at
what they did. Look at what they did to Britney. When she went in, she was tired, she was exhausted, she was in a bad way. But 10 years of that medication wrecked her brain. You can see it now. Yeah. You can see there's not much of her left.
You mentioned Pasternak was the name.
Yes, Harley Pasternak. That's the text message that you posted that we were talking about before.
Here's
that's the lobotomy friend.
You know? Yeah. Before the show, obviously, I'm getting a bunch of messages from people. People are hitting me up, and they're like, "You shouldn't host them. They're anti-Semitic. They're white supremacists. They're racist." I do find the idea. I do find it funny or weird or whatever that Nick, they call you a white supremacist. You're here working with or for one of the most powerful black men, one of the wealthiest and most famous. But Nick really a lot of people are saying on the right specifically, don't platform them. And I said, well, I want to understand what they're thinking and why they're thinking it. They're involved in what may be the biggest news story of the past week, and we have an opportunity to sit down and talk.
Because the red media controls both sides. It just said it as simple as possible. Jared Kushner was next to Trump. Rahm Emanuel was next to Obama. But since 1940, go ahead.
I was going to say, isn't that an issue of these individuals? Like you're extrapolating.
I'm going to order. With the last of my money that's available in a different account, I'm going to order a PJ before I sit and have another Lex Friedman setup conversation. When I'm literally they're trying to put me in jail for my opinion.
But I get that.
I'm not going to have that opinion. I don't care about people. Those are bots that are trying to tell you. We realize, look at Pence. He sold Trump out. You know what I'm saying? It's like I would have never wanted to do anything that hurt Trump. I'm on Trump's side. Trump said things that hurt me. He lied about me, but I mean, he's known for lying. And when people used to tell me that, he's a liar, it's like, I went into the trenches for Trump. That's another conversation. There was no one in my position that wore that hat. And all of my surroundings exhausted me. It was like death by 1,000 questions. I know I'm jumping to another thing, but what I'm saying is, I know you got a rep for your people online, but it's you got a person in real life that I'm not with it, bro. I lost the money for the freedom of speech, and that's what makes me the only American that we know that really deserves to run the country, because everyone else, your boy DeSantis, Trump, whoever they raise in a petri dish over on the Democrat side is going to play the game.
Look, and, here's what I was trying to get to. You went right into the anti-Semite thing. I think it's something that should be talked about. But if you start bringing this up, you're going to ask my opinion on it. I'm going to disagree with you.
I didn't ask your opinion on it. You jumped into it.
But
I don't care about your opinion. I like your opinion on how we win an election, but I don't care about anybody's opinion, bro. I lost. They tried to put me in jail. They blocked $2 billion I had. Like what I told Farrakhan, I said, look, is it anti-Semitic for me to say his name out loud? Like I told
minister.
Yeah, the minister. Like I told
Obama met with him too.
Oh, he was. Yeah, I mean the Jewish people allowed Obama to meet with the minister. So Farrakhan said, well, did he have the money? The contract for the next 4 years, if I hadn't done anything, would have been $500 million a year for 4 years. What I was fighting for was the IP, so my children could,
Yo, should we get a Sneako Rumble spam in there in the chat?
7 thoughts at one time. Because anything I see, I come up with like 7 answers to it and then just choose what it is. But the thing is, when I said my children, the reason why my brain kind of blocked, because it's like God is saying, your children are going to be okay. Baby mama's got money, right? God is using me. He's breaking me down, removing all of the, richest person, all of this, so I can serve him. And the more and more those things are taken away from me, the more I can be empty and be a vessel and be able to be used. And right now it's like, you're not going to take, if we can't, you're not going to take my pain away, right? The Jewish people say, it's the Holocaust, this happened, and you can't say anything about it. We can't take their pain away. No one's going to denounce the fact that they tried to lock me up. That's what, because every time I'm just holding stride, and it's like, I thought I was more Malcolm X, but I find out I'm more MLK because as I'm getting hosed down every day by the press and financially, I'm just standing there. And when I found out that they tried to put me in jail, it was like a dog was biting my arm, and I almost shed a tear, almost. But I still walked in stride through it. Yeah.
I think they've been extremely unfair to you.
Who was they though? We can't say who they is,
corporate
can we?
press. I'm not using I don't use the word as the way I guess you guys use. I'm talking.
It is
about
them though, isn't it? I mean, because because when you think about it, consider it. In 2018,
What do you mean it's not?
What do I mean? Like, okay, so how about? Are you leaving?
Are you referring to the press?
He's gone. I'll say it right now. You guys want to bring that stuff up?
Yo, who left?
And then
Have
think
the
we're not going
discussion.
to have a conversation?
Like, have the discussion.
Like you think Ye's going to come in here and say, here's my pain, here's my suffering. I'm going to say, I hear you. And then he's going to say, and it was Jewish people. And I'm going to be like, okay, but don't you consider, it's like, I'm not going to do this. I refuse.
Make sure he's cool.
All right, go for it. Luke and I will have a conversation. So I can't say I'm surprised. What do I even do other than ask him, please elaborate on this? Are you referring to individuals, or are you quite literally blaming an entire group of people for the fact that powerful individuals are causing you harm?
I really wanted to ask Nick about his thoughts about MLK because I know they contradict his comments about that. But again, these are mass generalizations that don't really help anyone in my perspective. They just kind of sound like
Chad, they took a private jet to get there. He just left.
the woke mob that's always saying white men are responsible for everything. When I see people just use generalizations, it kind of cheapens the conversations. It cheapens a dialogue that we could have here that I was planning to talk to Ye about, specifically bringing up like, hey, let's actually talk about this in a real concise way. Let's not get emotional. Let's not walk out of here. Let's actually
let me tell all
ourselves.
you guys outright. I said, this is going to be a big issue. Before the show, obviously people are going to bring up the questions of anti-Semitism. Why don't we talk about the news? I want to hear what happened with this meeting. I want to understand what Ye 24 is. And then we can do a longer conversation about any of that stuff. And Ye literally in the first 5 minutes says, no, I want to talk about a group of people and point to them. Whatever, man. You want to know why? Look, you're not going to sit here and you're going to walk out of the room. You're free to do so, man. But literally I said a couple sentences about, I don't think that's fair. Did I insult the man? He seriously can't handle it.
He also left during the Pierce Morgan interview he did, but he came back. So again, we should be able to have this conversation. What's up, Chris?
He wants his phone.
Oh, yeah.
Look, man, I wanted to talk to these guys about why they're meeting with Trump.
Chris.
I want to know what happened with the dinner because we hear a lot of rumors about it.
I want to hear about their
And that's
2024
why-
platform, which they were promising, which they were talking about, like they're going to be officially.
Let me explain to everybody
running.
that unfortunate they walked out. Fine, maybe they'll come back. Whatever.
Nick left too.
Biggest challenge with dealing with identitarianism. I do not believe that the predeterminate factor in someone's worth, value, or agenda is based on immutable characteristics. Kanye is a black man. He does not represent all black people.
Yay, not
there are
Kanye.
Jewish individuals who work in banks. Dave Chappelle made the joke about Jewish people in Hollywood. And he said, but it doesn't mean anything. You got a lot of black people in Ferguson, doesn't mean they run the place. The point is, I'm all about individualism.
Bro, I don't think they're coming back.
That means an individual of any background can be capable of anything. More importantly, we have employees here who are Jewish, who spend time in Israel, and would probably agree with a lot of issues that they would talk about, especially as it pertains to America first, bringing jobs back here and securing our borders. But then it's just,
Chad, WL.
bro, if you live in a world where a single group of people is haunting you, you're trapped. You're not going to get out. The issue is you can overcome anything. I understand, and I empathize that there are powerful business interests that are coming at Kanye. And I will also say this, because I wanted to get into the Trump stuff. When Kanye mentioned he got suspended on Twitter, then he gets word that
his whole chat is L Tim.
my immediate question is, okay, my thought to myself, we really want to know about the inner details of this Trump meeting. I guess it's not going to happen. My question then is, don't you think that, if Kanye is going to say these things and then immediately start getting involved with Fuentes, that only amplifies the accusations made against him. But I guess if they
It's a great media play. Do you think about how many people are going to talk about him walking out?
trying to say a whole bunch of stuff during his, his conversation. I respectively, didn't. I was waiting to counter back, but we didn't even push back at all. Really, we didn't even really say anything crazy out there. I mean, come on, like we should at least have the tough conversations. We should debate these ideas.
What does he think's going on?
And I don't know, but I just wish people were again like, hey, you don't agree with me 100%. That's fine. That's okay. I'm not gonna.
I got to start walking out more. I should have walked out of that Valuetainment show. He called and apologized. I mean, good for that, but I should have just walked out as soon as I heard the disrespect. As soon as I knew it was like a setup or they didn't actually want to hear me talk, I should just dip. I don't know why I tolerate that.
Warning about, specifically with people trying to drug him, specifically with people trying to, of course, get him on big pharma medicines. He was, again, sent to, he was institutionalized a couple years ago, specifically on November 21st, 2016. He's pointing a lot of this blame on this Harley Pasternak guy who, again...
Chat, did Nick Fuentes even get a talk?
Elliot Page. He was training Brittany Murphy. He trained a lot of controversial figures, and he is connected to a Canadian military psyops. That's like, we should know what else is happening behind the scenes there, what else he knows. But
Before the show,
we can't even get that.
Before the show, Ye was like, this was funny. He's like, how do I become president? How do you win? And I thought it was a rhetorical question because, like, why would I know that question? And he was like, hey, man, I asked you a question. What do you think? And I was like, oh, ballot harvesting, like, hands down. You go to door. He brought it up when he mentioned that I said that he would do well with the black vote. I feel like that's kind of oversimplifying what I said.
He ain't coming back, chat. They out. They out.
He appeals to regular people more so. If he knocked on the door and you said Trump, Biden, yay, they'd be like, yay. But I do think that he would do. I do think he would do better with the black vote simply because there's people who look up to him because they can see themselves in him. Now, let me elaborate. That's actually more of a leftist position, this woke position, because I don't completely disagree with every.
Good on him for not ending the show and fumbling the 93,000 viewers he has live right now.
True that if you're a little kid growing up in this country, and you're not white, but all you ever see on billboards and all you ever see on TV is white people, that means something, that has an effect on you. And that's basically what I'm getting to. All I can really say is this. Bro, if I can't ask you questions, call me like, hey, but don't you think this is like localizing? He could have been like, I don't, I genuinely view it this way. And I'd have said, well, okay, I can only ask you the question. You're allowed to believe what you want to believe. But dude, like, what did I ask him? Like 3 questions about it? And he just got up and left. Like, he's going to come here and just talk and be uninterrupted. Before we started the show, he said, hey, we're doing this show. Why don't we do it every week? Yeah. And I'm like, what is this? Is because you can't get on any other shows? I'm sorry, bro. This is not a show where you come in and talk by yourself and say whatever you want and say things that are that warrant
He's about to say
questioning
anti-Semitic.
at the very least.
He's about to say
At least
anti-Semitic.
for clarification.
Yeah, I mean, everything should
exactly.
be questioned. Everything should be debated. Everything should be, talked about. We shouldn't stray away from uncomfortable situations. We decide to take things head on. Like, we have our particular viewpoints. They have theirs. It's obviously there's a difference. Obviously, we believe in different things. Let's see which idea is better. Right. Let's see which.
Said Ye's brain is an antenna for ideas and unorthodox topics of conversations, and he doesn't have to say and converse with people who aren't willing to allow him to share those ideas. Lim in the chat. Yeah.
Keep talking and keep talking.
But that's not how the show works. We cut each other off all the time. I just cut you off right now.
I know.
Right? This is the way we do the show.
Guys, I'm sorry, man. I'm not here to do
So
it.
he wasn't with us, so he left.
Like, look, we had Milo come on a couple weeks ago, and he mostly just talked. And I think there's something.
So why can't you do that for Ye?
Milo had been banned for a really long time and hadn't spoken out in years.
Oh, platform,
Ye's
not
been on a whole
platform.
bunch of podcasts. So when we were talking about bringing them on, I said, look, man, after the Kyle Rittenhouse stuff, people were like, are you going to get him on the show? And I'm like, I don't want to chase after a dude who, like, he's in the news. Ye goes on Rogan before. He goes on Friedman. And then I'm like, that's cool. They got the...
And Rogan let him talk.
Then we were told we would get Milo, Fuentes, and Ye at the same time, and we could talk about this big news, because that's what we do. We are a topical news show with guests. We are not Joe Rogan Experience. We're not guest interviews. And so with Milo, we had him on, and it turned into something different because the man's been out of the limelight for 5 years and came back and said Trump supporters want revenge. So here on this show, I don't know to tell you, man. Ye doesn't have to do anything. He owes me no favors. He wanted to come on the show, but he didn't want to have a conversation.
Yeah.
I didn't disrespect him. We were nice to him. We hung out with him before the show. We tried to accommodate him to the best of our abilities. but he didn't want to entertain a conversation. I can't make him. He doesn't owe me that. He can leave. That's his thing. You know, appreciate him trying as best as he did. That's about it.
That's true. I mean, what else can you do, right? I mean,
Look, you know, let me tell you guys some stories. Because I guess this is the show now. Welcome to the Monday night show. It was all hype and then all nothing. You know, I don't like identitarianism. I've never been a fan of people who've blamed everyone else for their problems. I remember during Occupy Wall Street, you had people saying it was the 1%, that was the cause of their problems. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You got 1%ers here giving you money. You've got rich people down here supporting Occupy Wall Street, providing funding. You've got like George Soros money going into these nonprofits that are funding you to complain about rich people. The problem is varying agendas. The problem is varying ideologies. The problem is everyone fighting for power for what they want.
Okay, one more.
This happened, and you can't say anything about it. We can't take their pain away. No one's going to denounce the fact that they tried to lock me up. That's what because every time I'm just holding stride, and it's like, I thought I was more Malcolm X, but I find out I'm more MLK because as I'm getting hosed down every day by the press and financially, I'm just standing there. And when I found out that they tried to put me in jail, it was like a dog was biting my arm, and I almost shed a tear, almost. But I still walked in stride through it. Yeah.
I think they've been extremely unfair to you.
Who was they though? We can't say who they is.
Corporate
can we?
press. I'm not using the. I don't use the word as the way I guess you guys use. I'm talking.
It is
about
them though, isn't it? I mean, because
No.
because when you think about it, consider it. In 2018.
What do you mean it's not?
What do I mean? Like, okay, so how about
Nick didn't even get it.
Are you leaving?
What the?
Are you afraid of the press?
He's gone. I mean, like, okay, so how about Are you leaving?
Are you afraid of the press?
He's gone. I mean, like, okay, so how about Are you leaving?
Are you afraid of the press?
He's gone. I'll say it right now. You guys want to bring that stuff up, and then
have
think
the
we're not going
discussion.
to have a conversation. That you've got a group of people of this, like, it just doesn't make sense. I'm sorry, man. It just doesn't. There's certainly powerful individuals who are friends with each other. Like I said, Bezos, billionaire. Bill Gates, billionaire. Bill Gates going on TED Talks talking about depopulation. You've got, here's an example, Shane Smith, CEO of Vice, Irish-Canadian guy, multi-billionaire, created a woke media empire. So when we're talking about censorship and silencing, and he says it's like Jewish or whatever, and I'm like, but what does that mean? Like there's woke entities that are completely white European dudes. Mm-hmm. Antifa is mostly white European. They're not Jewish guys going around smashing up windows. This is the issue of people blaming a group of people when the issue is specific to something unrelated to their background. I don't know what else, man. How are you guys doing?
I don't know. I might want to go downstairs and see if we could get him back. I think it's worth a try.
Let's see.
I'm gonna try to talk to him, see if we.
I'll
can
read
get him
super
back.
chats.
Yeah,
I'll read super chats.
Let's see.
And well, that was fun.
Chat, it seemed a little bit Leia was on a roll before that. He should have just let him talk. Well, he's got to get used to that too. Like now running for president, he's got to get used to that. I understand why he left.
Good lesson. It takes a minute to calm down, then you can come back after.
He needs to explain what he means.
Right.
He can't just say it's true, and I'm like, what do you mean?
Read my super. Okay, what are the super chats? Emery Andrew Tate. If Ye and Nick can't even talk to Tim Pool, even though Tim didn't even push far, how far can he really go? That was weak. Yeah, imagine like actually going against a lib, because Tim Pool is a centrist, like pretty red pilled, but low key about it. I mean, we've seen it happen. We reacted to him on Piers Morgan, him on the other shows. He didn't get up that quickly.
Like this one or
Go over there.
I'm gonna be Kanye.
This is cool. So,
Yay.
It's yay.
it's yay.
Oh, sorry. Oh my gosh, did I just dead name him?
Mary's here.
That's rough, man.
So what happened? Tell me what's going on outside.
So Kanye and Milo are departing.
Yay.
He is gonna beat me up. So Milo and Nick and
They
Ye
all
are
just
departing.
caught a car.
They caught a
and
car.
left.
They're heading out.
But
They don't seem angry, but they just Kanye specifically said that he felt as though he should have been able to keep talking. He feels like not enough people are expressing this view, and he felt like, sorry, I just ran upstairs. I can't talk. he felt like perhaps cutting him off was not a good move. So
Milo felt like you were obstinately not getting the point that everyone in the room was getting.
They weren't explaining it.
I think that they should have stayed to explain it.
I wish they had been able to explain it.
Before the show, when I said, guys, I understand you want to talk about that. We have an opportunity to discuss this big news. Can we talk about the news before and then we'll focus on what Yay 24 is and what you want to do. But I think this is the problem with grievance politics. Instead of being like, here's my plan for America, it's they're the problem. They're the ones doing this. Who? How dare you? Bro, tell me what your plan is. Tell me what you want to accomplish. Tell me exactly what your plan is, other than they're harming me and they're bad people and I refuse to sit and listen to anyone who would say otherwise.
Right. Yeah, I think one of the major challenges about Timcast as a format show is that it's not an interview. It's a thing that I love about this program, which is like, you may be an expert in something, but what we really want is for you to come here and talk about the news with us, talk about current events.
Discuss.
And while, I think we were all really excited to hear more about like all three of these people's perspective on stuff. Like it's hard.
They can't help it.
It's not a monologue.
They can't help it.
So
it's not that. It's like, hey guys, can we talk about the news before getting into how you feel behind it? Yeah,
But you guys didn't
I
even
understand.
really get into the dinner.
Because he jumps immediately into, he wants to talk about Jews. And I'm like, are you kidding, dude? And I said, you want to go right into that? Fine, whatever. So be it.
Yeah.
But if dude can't handle a conversation about it, it's insane to me. Look,
I'm not
it's
sure what he
reality.
was referring to that happened this morning.
Chad, I gotta go too. Tune into Fresh and Fit, and I guess we can continue talking about it on there, but it's the after hours, so probably not. Fresh and Fit starting at around 9, so probably 9:30. Tune in there, and I don't want to call Nick and Ye right now. I think that's a bad idea. They're probably. I don't want to overstep my boundaries. You know what I'm saying? All right, chat. It's good to be back. I did not expect that at all. I'll see you soon. W100K, W Yay.
Halfway.
And yeah, we got a lot to think about that. That really fucking surprised me. Bro, Ye's always gotta, it's always gotta be something with Ye, bro. Oh, yeah. Of course he did that.
That's it. Your job?